Welcome to sewing class. This is Annette Julie, and today we're going to learn how to sew a button with a shank onto a swatch of muslin. Here we have a button with a shank. It's got a little hole right on the back of it. That's a plastic one. Here we've got a button, also with a shank, but it's just got a little metal loop. Here's an old-fashioned type of shank. It's got a poof of fabric, probably from the 1940s. And here is a built-in shank. So there we have some different buttons. And we are going to require the 4x4 swatches. You've already prepped them if you've watched my prior video on how to prep your muslin for hand sewing. We're also going to need a 4-ply of thread, your writing implements, measuring device, etc. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a border on our muslin. And right now I'm just waxing my thread, so it'll be really nice to sew with and binds those 4 layers together. Let's go ahead and grab a little ruler, and I'm going to take my 2 swatches and I'm going to create a border. I'm going to mark this border about 1/2 inch in from the edge, not including that little ripped fringe that's hanging out there. Let's go ahead and draw lines from side to side. We're creating a nice little border. We're going to go ahead and top stitch this on the sewing machine, or if you don't have a sewing machine, you can hand stitch. Okay, great. Grab your other swatch. Let's put that other swatch underneath, and let's start lining up the corners and those edges. And let's get some pins going through both layers. Great. Looks ready to sew. Let's go ahead and drop your presser foot down and bring your needle right down to where you'd like to start your sewing. Get it right on that line. Spend a moment adjusting. Perfect. Feel free to take out a pin that could be in the way. And we're going to start. And we are on 2.5. This is a regular straight stitch, and we are not going to do a back stitch to start. Coming to the end, right there. We're going to stop right on that line, and we're going to turn our corner. Approaching the line, turn our corner, every time we turn the corner, the needle needs to be down as the pressure foot is up and we swivel it. Go ahead and trim those threads nice and close before we get there. Now we're approaching that line. You can walk that last step. Let's go forward and back. Do a little back stitch right in that corner. And now we have successfully completed our border. And we're ready to sew on our button. So here's our button with the shank. And we have 4-ply thread, which you need to watch another video to see how to do all the threading. You're going to go ahead and fold and find the very middle, increase it, and you can go ahead and mark it. This is also going to be a right side and a wrong side. So let's go ahead and let's call this the right side. And this is going to be a button with a shank. Button with shank. That little loop on the back. Now take your 4-ply thread and take your needle and go through the right side, right in the middle, with the hole. Right there, and leave that knot right on the top. Making a very small hole. Go over about 2 or 3 stitches on the back of the muslin and come right back up, leaving hardly anything on the wrong or back side. Now here on the right side, which is the front, and we're going to go through that shank one time. We're going to take our needle, and we're not going to go in the exact same hole, but you're going to go over a little bit towards the side. And you're going to go to the back. Let that button hang so it doesn't twist. Just go over a couple little baby stitches, hardly anything at all. We just want to make a little dot. Just little baby dots of thread on the back, hardly anything. Now you're on the front. Pull it tight, make sure that it's not twisting. Let's go through that shank one more time. So that's a second time with the 4-ply thread. It's 8 times of thread. Let's go through the muslin one more time all the way to the back. Go over just a couple little baby threads, hardly anything at all, and then come back to the front. But this time when you come back, you don't need to go through the shank. You're going to put it over to the side. You're going to make a thread lasso, and you're going to hold right there. Keep that knot right where you want it. Pull the thread away and make a knot right at the base. Let's do that one more time. Make a thread lasso, hold it, get that knot exactly where you want it. I am causing attention, that's why it was firing off of my hand. There we go. It's exactly where I want that knot because I'm making a thread lasso and some tension. So we're done at this point. You can trim it, but you could also wrap it and develop a thread shank around this plastic shank. This is good for now. We're going to go ahead and trim it nice and close. Go ahead and write your name on this. And that is a button with shank sample. I'm Annette Julie, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Au revoir.